I never thought the day would come where I get to say this. I'm hype for a Belal Muhammad main event of a fight night. Whoa. And I think this is in the Apex too. I'm hype for a Belal Muhammad Apex fight night main event versus Gabriel Bonfim. I'm hyped for this fight card. Do you know how crazy that is? I never thought I'd say these words. Insane. Now, walk with me here. Listen to these names on this fight card. Belal Muhammad, Gabriel Bonfim. We're going to have to keep walking a little bit. Brendan Allen, Edmund Shabazian, Frosty Yam, Tom Nolan, Bryce Mitchell, Santiago Luna, Iwo Baranuski, Junior Tafa main card! Woo! Junior Tafa main card! That's what we're all here for. Matt Schnell, Alessandro Costa, Marcus McGee, John Giannis, Bruno Silva, Edgar Shirez, Priscilla Cacarano, Chelsea Trainer, Jordan Levitt, Joe Anderson Brito. I'm not reading the other two fights on here. I'm not pretending to be hyped for a Ketlin Souza fight. But this is actually a stacked card. I'm super hyped for it. And I also have another bit of news regarding MMA Guru that I will be revealing at some point during this card, during the main card, because MMA Guru's missing case actually does have to do with one of the fights on this card. Walk with me here. Trust me, this isn't like clickbait or anything. I swear to you guys. It's a rumor I've heard from a credible source. It has to do with something on this card, but it wouldn't make much sense to reveal it now. I'll reveal it when we get there. Starting off on this fight card, though, we have Ketlin Souza versus Ariana Carnelossi. Man, I'm actually excited for this fight. You know, this is a battle of the greats, battle of the future of the sport. Ketlin Souza versus Ariana Carnelossi. I'm actually a little bit torn from this one because Ketlin Souza is a Brazilian woman who looks a little masculine. Usually I just pick her. But Ariana is a pretty jacked woman as well and also looks masculine. So I'm not sure who I should pick. All right, let me look at their expressions maybe. Ketlin Souza, she looks a little happy. Oh, I don't know. I kind of like Ketlin Souza's tough cookie expression right now. She's kind of mean mugging the camera. Makes me think she means it more. So I'll pick Ketlin Souza. All seriousness, Ketlin Souza coming off a win. Oh, wait, they're both Brazilian. That kind of ruins my pick. A little taller, a little heavier, longer reach. Yeah, I think I'll just pick Ketlin Souza. Guys, most of my picks on this card are actually built in, real stuff. I just can't be bothered to research these picks. Now we have, all right. I'm not a hater of WMMA, but come on. I'll pick Chavez because it's her debut. She's a debut in 1-0. Is this just in the UFC? I'll pick Chavez. Now let's move on to a fight that we actually care about. Whoops. We have Jordan Levitt versus Joe Anderson Brito. Now, come on. Why is it trying to trick me into picking this fight? There. Jordan Levitt versus Joe Anderson Brito. Now, probably a year ago, just the thought of picking Jordan Levitt against Joe Anderson Brito would have been insane for me. But now that I look at it, now with everything that's happened, Jordan Levitt is actually pretty decent. He's not the bottom of the barrel of heavyweight. He just beat Yadir Davao, submitted Kurt Hollaba. Joe Anderson Brito has not been impressive to me recently, and he's kind of shown that he can gas the longer a fight goes, especially if someone wrestles him the entire time. I don't know. I think Jordan Levitt is a really, really good grappler. He got submitted by Paddy Pimblett. He got submitted by Charles Jourdain. I mean, not Charles Jourdain. Chase the Dream Hooper. My bad. He got submitted by Chase Hooper. But he got submitted by Chase Hooper because they were scrambling back and forth. He allowed himself to get submitted kind of because he wasn't scared of the grappling. He's a great grappler and he just got caught up in a sub. Jordan Levitt is actually pretty good. Joe Anderson Brito, I don't see him scrambling like that with Chase Hooper. I see Chase Hooper, if it does go to the ground, I see Chase Hooper dominating him. Jordan Levitt kind of let it go to the ground. Or I think he actually shot the first takedown in that fight. And Chase Hooper's biggest issue usually is getting it to the ground, but once it goes to the ground, he's really good. And Jordan Levitt was able to scramble with him. Oh, took Patty Pimblett 2 rounds. Patty's not the best, but I think Patty schools Joanderson Brito. Joanderson Brito just took a debutant in his last fight to a super close decision and probably would have won if the debutant, I forget the guy's name, if he hadn't come in on like a week's notice and gassed out. I think I'm actually going to pick Jordan Levitt. Jordan Levitt's a pretty decent striker as well. And I'm just not that impressed by Joanderson Brito recently, especially after Jordan Levitt's dropped down to featherweight. He's shown to be pretty good down there. Give me Jordan Levitt and give him, I'll say by decision, not by a finish. Maybe he drops around. I think he drops the first round, but picks up the pace, puts a grappling pace on Joanderson Brito, outstrikes him by tying in the grappling a little bit. Give me Jordan Levitt for this fight, but it's a close one. I wouldn't be surprised either way. Priscilla Cacarero versus Chelsea Chandler. I'm not a women's MMA hater. These fights just aren't good. I don't really care about this fight, who wins, but I will be picking Priscilla Cacarero. Priscilla Cacarero, she does have more pop in her punches. She feels more dangerous of a fighter to me. Chelsea Chandler is kind of mid. They're both mid, but Chelsea Chandler is like a mid, not dangerous fighter. She doesn't have pop in her punches. There's no reason for me to really pick her besides her winning by decision. But she doesn't really have an X factor that would make me want to pick her over Priscilla Cacarero, who does have a little bit of an X factor. She does have power. It's not crazy power, but it does exist. So give me Priscilla Cacarero. Give me her by decision. Now, onto a fight I'm actually super hype about. Bruno Silva versus Edgar Chairez. Man. Bruno Silva, there's two different Bruno Silvas. There's the Bruno Silva that we know and love who loses to every good fighter he fights. And then there's the Bruno Silva that comes out with acne all over his back and has a career best performance. I'm not accusing him of anything, just saying. But Edgar Chairez is pretty good too. Bruno Silva and him have a common opponent. They both fought Joshua Van. Joshua Van schooled Bruno Silva, knocked him down like 5 times. I think set a flyweight knockdown record in that fight. Schooled him, didn't really have a moment of adversity, but he went to war with Edgar Chairez. To be fair, that was like a month or a month and a half after Joshua Van. Right after Joshua Van had Charles Johnson had just knocked him out, so his chin probably wasn't as good. He was off the couch. It was short notice as well. No cardio, gassed out a little bit, but it was still a war. Those were different versions of Joshua Van, though, so I'm not going to take too much from that, but still, Edgar Chairez has shown to be pretty good against the unranks of the division. Bruno Silva has as well, but Edgar Chairez, actually, to be honest, in Edgar Chairez's last fight, I wasn't too impressed by him. I think he could have lost that fight if it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was in Mexico. I think it was on that Brandon Moreno Loner Kavanaugh card in Mexico. I think if that fight wasn't in Mexico, I do think they would have given his opponent that fight. I can't remember the guy's name. Who was it? Felipe something. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember, but I don't rate his opponent that highly. Actually, I think I kind of switch. I was going to pick Edgar Chairez. It could still go to Edgar Chairez, don't get me wrong, but I think I'm going to pick Bruno Silva for this fight. Bruno Silva has just shown, in my opinion, to be a little bit better recently. Edgar Chairez is coming off a long layoff before his last fight. Oh, maybe that's why he didn't do as good as well, but I think Bruno Silva has just fought a better level of competition. No, Edgar Chairez has also fought Tatsuro Taira, won that 3rd round against him, and made the other rounds pretty close. Had some pretty close subs. Actually, I think I'm going to pick Edgar Chairez for this, because I was thinking maybe the Joshua Van fight was just a fluke. Bruno Silva did do good against Charles Johnson, but I think a lot of people were just very performative for that fight. Didn't really watch it in detail. I think Charles Johnson won that pretty clearly. I'm not just being biased because I'm a Charles Johnson enjoyer, but I think Charles Johnson beat him pretty clearly. Could have won every round. I don't think he did. I think it was a 29-28 pretty fairly, but Bruno Silva didn't do as good as a lot of people think. He was hitting the guard a lot, throwing big looping shots. I think just the optics of it made it look good for him, but when you actually look at the fight, Charles Johnson did pretty good in that fight, and that's really his best performance. Edgar Chairez did good against Joshua Van. He did good against Tatsuro Taira. Those are the two of the best guys in the division, in my opinion. Yeah, give me Edgar Chairez. I think not by a finish, but I'll give him a 29-28 decision. Maybe Bruno Silva has a good round, but I don't see him beating Edgar Chairez. Now, Marcus McGee versus John Giannis. Marcus McGee, this is his first fight back since the Petr Yan fight. His first loss in the UFC, I believe. And he did pretty good in that Petr Yan fight. He won that first round against Yan, in my opinion. He lost the second two, but even in that third round, Yan kind of beat him by smudging him against the fence, kind of boringly out-grappling him, not doing much damage. And Petr Yan is really good. He did better against Yan. I know it was a 3-round fight, but he did better against Yan than Merab did. And I know they're completely different stylistic matchups, but if you're able to win a round against Petr Yan in any sense, because the only guys that are winning around against Petr Yan are high-level guys. I know everyone says Yan takes the first round off, but that's against high-level guys. That's against Corey Sandhagen's, Sean O'Malley's, Petr Yan's, Merab's. That's not against guys like John Giannis. I don't think John Giannis takes a single round from Petr Yan. I don't think he makes a single round close. Even on volume in that second round, Marcus McGee was doing good. He was just getting hit with the better shots from Petr Yan. And Marcus McGee did kind of not fully rock Yan, but he was stunning him with his power in that first round. Marcus McGee is pretty good. Beat Jonathan Martinez pretty clearly outside of those leg kicks, but that's Jonathan Martinez. Give me Marcus McGee. Give me Marcus McGee and give me. I haven't picked a finish on this card yet. This has a finish written all over it. Give me Marcus McGee by second round KO. I think he cooled John Giannis in the second round. Marcus McGee has crazy power for a bantamweight. Give me a second round John Giannis KO. Marcus McGee KO. Matt Schnell versus Alexandro Costa. By the way, don't think I forgot about the whole MMA Guru thing. I know what it's in a couple fights. It's coming. I'll give you. It's during the Bryce Mitchell fight. Matt Schnell versus Alexandro Costa. Matt Schnell. I can't pick a Matt. Matt Schnell has actually shown a pretty decent chin in his last couple fights since coming back from retirement, which is kind of funny because I vividly remember him retiring. It almost made me feel like it was a fever dream because he just came back out of nowhere. He was just announced on a card. Wasn't given some crazy, unretirement announcement or anything. Just announced he's on a card. No one really even remembered he retired. But he did retire. And since coming back from that, I'm not sure what he did. Maybe he got chin surgery or something. But he's shown a pretty decent chin. And in his retirement fight, he did too. That was up a weight class, but still. I don't know. Matt Schnell's actually pretty crafty. But Alexandro Costa has some pretty good power. He did good against Steve Erceg, if I'm remembering right. I don't know, actually. I wonder who the favorite is for this one. Okay, well, duh. Do I want to pick the underdog here? It's a catchweight belt as well. Oh, actually, you know what? It being a catchweight belt has single-handedly changed my opinion of this fight. I think Matt Schnell's chin is going to be better. I think he's going to perform better. Give me Matt Schnell by, I'll say, a 29-28 decision. He has a longer reach than Alexandro Costa. He's pretty decent. And a lot of people don't realize he has sneaky power. He rocks Pantoja worse than anyone except Figgy has ever rocked him. And even then, Figgy kind of just pushed him over with power. Matt Schnell put him on jelly legs. Yeah, he got KO'd by Pantoja right after. But still, Matt Schnell's actually a pretty sneaky good fighter. I don't know. He's kind of washed now. And for Matt Schnell to be washed... No, I'm not going to try to hardcore this. Give me Alexandro Costa by a KO. Alexandro Costa has pretty decent power. And even though it's up a weight class, I still don't believe in Matt Schnell's chin. Give me Alexandro Costa by a second round KO. Now, this is where I'm going to fake hardcore. Junior Tafa versus Ivo Baranuski. I'm not even pretending right now. I'm not going to lead you guys on. I'm not going to over-explain it before I say anything. Give me Junior Tafa by a first-round KO. Ivo Baranuski is a decent fighter. Don't get me wrong. But we haven't really seen him fight anyone good, to be honest. He beat Austin Lane. He beat Ibo Aslan. Who else? Everyone beats him. And Ibo Aslan genuinely put him on Crip Street, put him on jelly legs, nearly finished him in round one. Yeah, he came back and won, but Junior Tafa is not Ivo Baranuski. He's not Austin Lane. He's actually a pretty decent striker, and he has an underrated pop. And Junior Tafa has beaten some pretty... He hasn't beaten some pretty decent guys, but he's performed decently against some pretty okay level guys. I can't remember the guy's name he fought. Same guy. Oh, what's his name? But he was winning that first round, a pretty decent prospect. I don't rate Iwo Bernowski that high either. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he's a grappler. Junior Tough is not a good grappler. Iwo Bernowski, the grappling narrative, kind of reminds me of the Justin Gaethje grappling narrative where, Justin Gaethje's base is actually a Greco, right? He's actually a wrestler first. So Gaethje just chooses to strike. That's how I feel about Iwo. Iwo didn't get to the UFC. He's not winning in the UFC against bottom of the barrel, by the way. He's not winning that through his grappling. He's winning from his striking. I'm not going to rely on someone's grappling that I haven't seen. If there were anyone I would rely on it against, don't get me wrong, it would be against Junior Tafa. But Junior Tafa is a pretty decent striker. I can see him countering Iwo Bernowski when he tries to bum rush him at the beginning of the first round. And I could see him dropping him and rocking him. And unlike Ibo Aslan, I think Junior Tafa is actually a pretty underrated striker and pretty decent. I think he'll be able to finish him. I don't think he's going to get into a war where they drop each other back and forth. Tafa has a decently underrated chin as well. Give me Junior Tafa by a first round KO and come back to this after I'm proved right. Now, Bryce Mitchell versus Santiago Luna. This is where I'm going to tell you guys what happened to MMA Guru. MMA Guru, I have heard a rumor that he's in America right now, and it's from a pretty reliable source. I've heard a rumor that he's in America right now. Some commentator for a regional show said he saw Guru and Bryce Mitchell together at that show. And there is a rumor that he's going to be walking out for Bryce Mitchell's walkout. And that's why he hasn't posted in a while, why he hasn't told anyone about where he's going to be, because it's meant to be a surprise. That's my best guess as to what happened. It's from a pretty reliable source, from that commentator himself. He has no reason to lie about that. And that's such like a weird thing to lie about. I don't understand why it would be a lie. But if not, if we see Bryce Mitchell walk out on Saturday night and Guru's not with them, just assume Guru's palms up. But that's just a rumor I've heard. Take that for what you will. Believe me, don't believe me. We'll find out Saturday. We'll find out Saturday night, Max Holloway style. We'll find out Saturday night. Fingers crossed. I like Guru. I hope he's not palms up. But anyway, Bryce Mitchell versus Santiago Luna. I'm sorry, Bryce. I think this whole bantamweight run is coming to an end. Santiago Luna, I rate him pretty highly. He has decent takedown defense, decent grappling, I think, and pretty good striking. I think that's what you need to beat Bryce Mitchell. Saeed Nurmagomedov, I don't rate him that highly. And he was like an inch away from winning that fight. In that third round, if he had gotten any sort of damage off, he wins that fight. But he just didn't have the cardio for it. Oh, I don't know. Bryce Mitchell's an underrated grappler, but as of recent, he hasn't seemed that dangerous. In my opinion, he kind of robbed Dan Ige on a damage-based decision. I wasn't mad when it happened because I wanted Bryce to win, but he did kind of rob him in a damage-based decision where Dan Ige should have won based on damage. I think Santiago Luna is going to win based on damage. I think Bryce might out-grapple him, but he's not going to finish him. I don't think he's going to do any damage to him on the ground. I don't think he's going to get close to a sub. I see Santiago Luna doing enough damage to Bryce on the feet so that even if Bryce does later in that round get a takedown with Bryce's grappling style, it won't matter that much. So give me Santiago Luna. I don't feel like I have to say too much about this fight. We've seen it many times. Give me Bryce Mitchell. Or give me Santiago Luna by a damage base, 29-28. Maybe Bryce can clutch up that third round because he has underrated cardio. Maybe he clutches up that third round with like enough control time, but I just don't see it happening. Give me Santiago Luna by 29-28 decision. Now, Frosty Am, it's time for you to get a ranked opponent after this. Now, this isn't like a lock of the card or anything. Tom Nolan's pretty good. I'd even say Tom Nolan's a better pure striker than Frosty Am, but Frosty Am is genuinely a crafty vet in the body of a prospect. He can mix it up so good. He knows what he has to do at every point. If Tom Nolan's outstriking him at any point, he'll be able to mix in the grappling, sneaky shots, sneaky takedowns, knees while Tom Nolan's trying to get up. I think he'll clutch up this decision. I think a 30-27 Frosty Am. I was going to say a finish. Tom Nolan's pretty good. I don't see a finish. But I could also see Frosty winning every round, and I actually do kind of see it. I see him, if Tom Nolan's outstriking him, I see him taking him down, shooting takedowns, pressuring him against the fence, doing what he needs to do to win that round, kind of wearing out Tom Nolan, frying his nervous system, and just not smudging out, but gritting out a 30-27 against Tom Nolan. I rate Farasiam super highly. I think he's the future of this division. He's one of the prospects I rate super high because he's not like one of these guys who's finishing everyone or going to war, and that's why he gets hyped. He's dominating these guys over 3 rounds, fully dominating them and finishing them after he's fully dominated them. And he's like doing it to pretty decent guys. And I think Tom Nolan, while they may be on a close level, I just think stylistically, Frosty Am is just going to maul him. So give me Frosty Am by a 30-27 decision. Now, moving up the card, Brendan Allen versus Edmund Shabazian. This should be a pretty easy Brendan Allen finish or 30-27. However, I can't trust Brendan Allen's fight IQ. I'm going to say a Brendan Allen 29-28. However, that could go the other way. But Brendan Allen is, I think, levels better than Edmund Shabazian. I'm not basing that off the RDR fight. I think RDR in that fight, I think that was just a bad version of RDR. RDR, based on skills, won that first round, but then he kind of lost every bit of cardio he had and then lost because of that. It wasn't really a skill thing. It was a cardio thing. And I think maybe that's from all the weight cuts in that year. So I'm not going to take too much from that fight with Brendan Allen. But Brendan Allen, I think, lost a 5-round fight to Chris Curtis. Brendan Allen got KO'd by Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland's good. He's not a KO guy to dominate you in the first round and KO you in the second. Only person I can think he's done that to is Abus Magomedov. Yeah, I think. And he didn't dominate Abus in that first round like he did Brendan Allen. I know that was a long time ago, but that was Sean Strickland on short notice as well. He got beat by Fluffy, but he made that fight close. So again, I rate Brendan Allen decently. I think he beats Edmund Shabazian, but I wouldn't be surprised if he lost. I think I see Brendan Allen out-grappling him, out-striking him, 29-28. Maybe he has a hairy first round, maybe a hairy third round where he just acts like a complete tard. But give me Brendan Allen by a 29-28 decision. Now, in the main event, Belal Muhammad versus Gabriel Bonfim. I think Gabriel Bonfim is taller than 6'1". I think the height difference will be a lot more pronounced than just a 2-inch height difference and more than a half-inch of reach. But I still have Belal Muhammad. I don't rate Gabriel Bonfim high at all. He's not that good of a grappler. He beat Randy Brown in the same way Kevin Holland beat Randy Brown, but he just got a finish. Kevin Holland almost finished Randy Brown as well in that second round. And that's really his only good win. He's not that good of a fighter, in my opinion. And I think Belal, while JDM did just get schooled by Carlos Prates, JDM's a good fighter. And Belal made that razor close on the feet. But JDM, don't get me wrong, JDM clearly won that fight. You could argue a 50-45 JDM. However, that doesn't tell the story of the fight. That was a super close fight in every round. And he busted up JDM. I think JDM schools Gabriel Bonfim, doesn't break a sweat, and finishes him. I just don't see a way for Bonfim to win this. And I think Belal is pretty decent. Unless he's gotten too old and washed. He did good against Ian Gary too again. 30-27, but that doesn't show the story of the fight. Every round was close. And Ian Gary, again, is levels better than Gabriel Bonfim. Gabriel Bonfim is not that good. I could see Belal Muhammad kind of doing a, what's his name? Who's the guy who smudged him who just out-cardioed him, basically? I forget his name. But I could see Belal Muhammad doing that. Oh, I have to remember his name. I could see Belal Muhammad doing something similar to, you guys know I know who I'm talking about. Do something similar to, as Nicholas Dalby did. Nicholas Dalby, where he kind of out-grapples him, puts a heavy grappling pace on him. Gabriel Bonfim tries to grapple back, gasses himself, and gets finished in the second round, maybe third round. Maybe not a finish, but just completely dominated the rest of that fight. I just don't see a way for Belal to lose this fight. Gabriel Bonfim's not some crazy power puncher. He's not putting out Belal. Belal has a crazy chin. And if you're not putting out Belal and you're not a high-level fighter, which Gabriel Bonfim just isn't, you're not beating Belal Muhammad. So I got Belal Muhammad by decision, and that's the last fight on this card. Yep, because it's the main event, obviously. Those are my picks for UFC Fight Night. Belal Muhammad versus Gabriel Bonfim. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about what a little bit of info I gave you about MMA Guru. Is he still alive? Do you think? Is he going to be walking out with Bryce Mitchell? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll see you guys later. Peace.